We had a Pepsi problem earlier.
So the other day I was drunk with some friends and we were going through those DVDs with several shitty horror films on them. You know, like this. And we eventually arrived at a movie that is actually filmed in our home state of Alabama. And actually not far from where we live. About 45 minutes or so. So, without further ado, this is Hide and Creep. So this Alabama hidden gem opens with some hipster asshole talking about way better horror films that you should be watching.
Evil Dead's not a zombie movie. Brain Dead. What's actually called Dead Alive here in the States.
Now this sexy slice of Wonder Bread is our main protagonist, Chuck, played by one of the co-directors.
So all these stories we've been hearing on talk radio about an alien and/or communist conspiracy to reanimate corpses are true. And so people are renting zombie movies to learn how to protect themselves from the living dead. Yeah, buddy, I don't think I can rent to you anymore.
Isn't he just a fucking bundle of charisma? So this naked guy falls out of a tree and we see his dick. But why though? Then we cut to 4 guys walking around the woods talking about guns and shit, as you do in Alabama. So then they start talking about porn. Then they start watching it. Together. Hey, there's nothing wrong with 4 heterosexual men hanging out in a secluded cabin in the middle of the woods watching porn. Well, it's not gay. So thankfully the cable goes out before things get too weird. So young JT Walsh goes to check on the problem, and after discovering it's a broken wire, he decides he's gonna blow on it. You know? As you do. What? He's not gay. What a weak-ass death scene. Then we get a proper introduction to the man, the myth, the legend, teenage heartthrob and international superstar, Chuck motherfucking Hartzell. Then we get our first glimpse at the zombies, or what I'm guessing is a zombie. Honestly, he looks more like a homeless person. Sick metaphor, guys. Fucking nailed it. Then we're introduced to this reverend character who looks like Hodor.
Hodor.
We're also introduced to this police station secretary whose name is Barbara. Now I'm sure that's a reference to Night of the Living Dead.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
But I don't give a fuck about these characters. Give me back my Chuck.
Hey, Mom. What's up?
Yay, Chuck! I'm always happy when this guy's on screen, even if he is doing something mundane like talking to his mom.
Yep, this guy broke into the store this morning. I don't know, I think he's a homeless guy.
Even Chuck isn't sure if the guy's homeless or not.
Yeah, I think he's pretty dead.
You know, he's pretty nonchalant about telling his mom he killed a bum. Does she hear that shit all the time? So nonchalant, in fact, he contemplates leaving the guy over the weekend.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna drag him out back.
Hey, maybe that isn't the best idea, Chuck.
Why not?
Then we cut to the rednecks in the woods looking for young JT Walsh when they stumble across more homeless people.
Zombies.
Hey, be a little bit more sensitive, asshole. The homeless situation in America is a real problem. So Chuck Hartzell was hungry one day and brought his camera along so he can put it in the movie.
Pepsi okay?
Pepsi. Is Pepsi okay? No, my dear lady, Pepsi is not okay. Look, I don't mean to be rude here, but let me school you on something. See, Pepsi, this so-called choice of a new generation, is nothing but a charlatan, a fraud, an imposter. See, the Pepsi Corporation, through years of slick advertising using glitzy pop stars and pseudoscientific research, have somehow convinced the public that their product is as good as, if not better than, Coke. Coke, however, is the original cola-based carbonated beverage. The original, real thing. That is what I want.
Don't fuck with Chuck.
So you want to cancel that order?
Keep the breakfast coming, I'll be back in a minute.
I'm surprised he's still hungry after chewing all that fucking scenery. So the naked guy is walking through the woods. Did you forget about him? It's okay, because I did too.
How about a blowjob then?
Look, man, just because I'm out here with no clothes on doesn't mean that I'm some male prostitute.
No, man. I meant I was gonna give you a blowjob.
What the fuck? He's definitely not gay. Cutting back to Hodor.
Hodor.
Yeah, he gets bitten by a homeless guy, and then we're introduced to another character named Chris. Now this is Chuck Hartzell's real-life cousin, which adds a little bit more charm to the whole thing. This guy put all of his friends and family, and apparently half the goddamn town, in his little home movie. It's adorable as shit. It kind of makes me want to go get my friends together and film my own shit flick. If I had friends. Now, believe it or not, the movie is still throwing more characters at us, in the form of this Oscar Isaac looking motherfucker.
I'm gonna need you to pack this chute up for me, darling.
You expect me to believe he parachuted in? It looks like he threw a parachute in her face and started dusting himself off and was like, oh, I just landed. Anyways, Oscar Isaac shows her no ID or badge and demands to hold the entire town hostage. He's just like, hey, let me do the thing. So Chris and Chuck finally meet, and after exchanging the best dialogue in the world...
Listen, have you got a car?
I've got a truck.
Well, I need a ride.
That's a truck, not a taxi cab. I'm eating breakfast.
Oscar Isaac finds the naked guy. Like, I'm guessing the script told him to go there?
And we hear this noise, and we see this bright light, and it keeps getting brighter and brighter, and then we see a flying saucer.
Whoa, guy, I don't think this film can afford any flying saucers. And then Chuck and Chris show up. I guess the script told them to go there too.
What I'm saying is, I think you have an RC problem.
RC? Royal Crown Cola? Well, we had a Pepsi problem earlier.
Sick joke, guys. I'm glad you brought it back. Nailed it. Anyways, the Hick Squad are surrounded by the walking homeless and decide to call Barbara at the police station, who gets attacked by one of the homeless bastards. So everyone meets up at the police station. The naked guy,
Michael.
Michael, finds clothes, and Oscar Isaac gets bit. And it's at this point everyone decides they need to get to Barbara's car. Except Chuck, obviously, because he's read the script and he knows how that turns out. Instead, he decides to hang out and get high. Now I want to see a movie where Chuck gets high with that old Native American guy from Campfire Stories. And I hope it ends the same way, too. So the Hick Squad show up at a barbecue place and are appalled that they're feeding the homeless. Anybody notice this whole movie seems to take place around the 4 or 5 places that Chuck's allowed to film? The woods, a couple of houses, a titty bar. It's like, hey, can I come over and film? Hell yeah, bring your camera, buddy. Also, Hodor eats some random bitch.
This is a dry county!
But again, the only one we give a shit about is Chuck. He's so important, in fact, the news station calls him directly.
This is Chuck.
Because why fucking wouldn't you? But he's more concerned with the Alabama-Auburn game.
Hey, wait a minute, man. I'm trying to watch the game. Why don't you put the game back on?
Oh, Chuck, you cool motherfucker. So let's start knocking some of these plot points out, alright? Let's go. So the rednecks go to a titty bar. Definitely not gay. This guy,
Michael.
Michael, finds his smashed car off camera because no doubt they couldn't afford something like that. And this guy gets killed at a grocery store. That's important. That's a vital fucking plot point. And this is where Captain Mullet finds a bunch of zombie strippers. Can someone explain to me why the zombie strippers are getting aroused? Oh yeah, because the 2 perps filming this are getting aroused. And it's at this point it's revealed the zombies are scared of the dark. So basically all the characters just try to make it until dark. Also, Chuck doesn't have access to any lighting equipment. So we gotta make sure we film the entire movie during the day. So Reverend Hodor yells at everyone. And then kills himself. What the fuck was the point of that subplot? So everyone shows up at Captain Mullet's house.
Did you do this one back here?
No, that guy did.
And a naked chick falls from the sky?
Could you maybe get me a towel, please?
Chuck, the movie's almost over. Stop throwing characters at us. And everyone rides off into the sunset.
Daddy, I'm hungry now.
Oh, sweetie, we'll stop in just a little bit, okay?
guess they died. Then it looks like Chuck might make a run for it, but gets distracted when the game finally comes on.
I got some time.
Now this movie isn't as well made as Campfire Stories, and honestly it looks cheaper than fucking Killjoy, but Hide and Creep has more charm than both of those movies combined. Everyone is giving it their best, with some particularly good performances out of Captain Mullet and Barbara. It's heartwarming to see this whole town rally behind Chuck and Chance's vision, as unfocused and chaotic as it may be. But on a scale of 1 to Neil Breen, it isn't that obnoxious. So I'm giving Hide and Creep a 3 out of 5. And Chuck, if you happen to be watching this, I would love to be in your next project. Consider this video as an unofficial audition tape, if you will. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next review.